Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Tremendous Mazel Tov to Osher and the ganze Mishpacha on his bar mitzvah boy bayom. He laned here today, first time ever. Tremendous Mazel Tov. As you all know, you see him here every single day. Where is he? Get over here. Bar mitzvah bacher boy bayom, unbelievable. You have a bracha for me, Tzaddik? By the way, first, Amen. Salute to 120. That's it? A little bit more. What else? What should I do during the 120?
Learn Shas.
I should learn Shas. Teach Shas. This guy is from the big Iluyim. He knows, sometimes he has the answers before the adults. Many times. You should keep on going, giving nachas to your father and your grandfather, to your grandparents, to all your parents, to your siblings, to everybody. The God's Klal Yisroel. Shkoyach. Rabbi Isai, today I believe is the Levaya of Reb Matisyo here in Yisrael, right? So I just want to play a short clip that has to do with Daf Yomi. We found this clip. It's a gem. It's not on YouTube, and we're going to try to download it for the Olam. But here's one little piece from the great Mashgiach Reb Matisyo. Here goes.
Tonight, Atem Nitzovim, if we want to make a resolution, it is to make a resolution that our homes will be filled with Torah. Not only the shiurim that we learn with a shir in public, we'll bring the learning of Torah into our, we'll prepare a shir and we'll revise a shir. We'll learn with our children. We'll find moments to fill our homes with Torah. All of us, those who have learned the Daf Yomi and those who come to show their respect to those who have learned the Daf Yomi, have got to understand that this Maimed on the first day of Slichus is a commitment. Atem nitzovim hayoim lifnei Hashem alekeichem. Umolo haaretz deos Hashem k'mayim.
Okay, his neshama should have an aliyah. Should be a Mazel Tov for all of Klal Yisroel. Dear Belly, thank you for your share. We enjoy very much. I have a shayla. I'm driving from Miami to Orlando. If you look close, he's doing 70. Not bad. Stick a slow poke. I don't know where he learned how to drive. I'm driving from Miami to Orlando. We're listening to the daf. All of a sudden, I got a phone call from my brother in Israel. Not a Remy Cohen, but Ushi Cohen. I've been waiting to talk to him for a few days, so I answered it. Is that mutter? I'm asking. Is that mutter in the middle of a shir to answer a phone call? No. After the phone call, I wanted to resume the shir, but the whole screen system froze. I guess it's a bug or a short circuit. It's clear to me that Hashem wants me to value my learning time and not answer phone calls. But since we're in the sugya, he wants to know if MDY is chayiv to pay to fix the system in his car. All jokes aside, we love MDY. Thank you, Levi Cohen. Regarding the story of the diamond dealer who shared his room with the Ganav and hid his diamonds in the Ganav's pockets. A similar story actually happened with the famed Lubavitcher Chassid and Mashpia Reb Mendel Furfas, something like that. When he was in the Gulag, a pickpocket used to play with an illegal deck of cards, and when the guard would come and search the contraband, he would sneak the deck into the guard's pocket. Reb Mendel would use the story as a mashal. Oh, so here's the Musar Haskell, teaching that often we like to blame the people around us for our problems, but if we would remember to check our own pockets first and fix ourselves, it may very well solve our problems. The other lesson the Hasidim teach from a similar story, referred to as the story of Isaac Yekels of Krakow, is that many times we think that the solution to our problems is elsewhere. But we should know that the true solution lies within ourselves. The second lesson is not the same as the first. Poik v'ayim bo. Thank you for such an awesome shir. B'yedidus Abba Rennert. Rabbi Isai, I want to say that just yesterday, the first time in years that MDY found itself in a little bit of a pickle. It's difficult to pay the coil guys. We had to come up with the money for. All of a sudden, Mr. Anonymous from Manchester sent in $12,000. And the same thing, Mr. Anonymous from Lakewood sent in $10,000. It was mamish a chesed from Hashem, but Anonymous from Manchester, nobody spoke to him, nobody hinted to him, dropped the money. The coil of the month, sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood, in honor of Moshe Klein, Yossi Schlenger, Moti Steg, and Refuah Shlema for Tinoik ben Malka. The Masechta is sponsored for the unity of Am Yisrael, the Parnas HaChodesh. And now we have 7. Yosef and Chaya sorry for all the zchusim that come from supporting limud HaTorah. Parnas HaChodesh Yedidya Pereira, lezchut zivug hagam bקרוב, Chana bas Michal, Chayim, Dov ben Shulamis, ושושנה ברכה bas Shulamis. Parnas HaChodesh, Rav Noam, Avi, Gary, Yosef, for your relentless commitment to MDY, and there are many others, such as Dave, who's back here, and Tomer, and many others. Mark, Ashkenazi, V'chulu, Nesan, Algan, Sissi Klein. The list goes on and on. Parnas HaChodesh, Lina Nishma Zechariah ben Moshe, Lina Nishma Chaya bas Yosef. Parnas HaChodesh, Ahron Fraiman, it should be a zchus to rebelli for continuing Siyata the Shemai and teaching Torah to Klal Yisroel. Parnas HaChodesh, Lina Nishma Kol Chayali Tzahal, Shenoflo al Kiddush Hashem. Parnas HaChodesh. Is Robert Early here today? Nachnisht. So this person who donated anonymously from Manchester, he wants it to be in the memory of Binyomin Airley, from anonymous in Manchester, who joined the shir at the beginning of Soita. Parnas Hayoim, Israel and Stephen Perlich, Yortzeit of Basi Rivko Bas Tzvi, Beatrice, Perlich. In celebration of Osher Jacob's bar mitzvah today, Boy Bayoim, Mazel Tov. Glenn and Stacy Black, Mazel Tov to Amira and Ariel Blumenthal on the birth of our first granddaughter. By Gershon Rose, Lili Nishmas, our uncle, and the Rosh Mishpacha, Moran, Rebbe Tesiyahu, Chayim, Ben Yaakov, Zechet Tzadik, Kosh Levracha. And as a refuah shlema from my father, Shlita Talmud Muvik of Rebbe Tesiyahu Zetzal, should have a refuah shlema. Parnas Hayoim, Tzvi Spiro for the successful Shasathon campaign for the famous Yochanan Itzkowitz. Heart of the month, anonymous, for the zchus of an easy childbirth for his daughter and a healthy baby. Rabbi Sai, we are holding Daf Samach Gimel Amud Aleph. So here's a question: how's it possible that a person doesn't go out and steal something, yet he's chayav 2 times the amount that he has in his possession, 4 times the amount he has in possession? Kefil, dal v'hei. How's it possible? You didn't go out there and steal it. Shomer, Bikodim, yeah. 4 times. 4 times. How do you get to 4 times? No, continue. Rabbi Dambi. Between the 2 of you. Lomamash. Okay, he said what? You toyin tainas tavach u'mochar. Close, but you don't have to be toyin it. You actually do it. Okay. Sure, the bar mitzvah boy. Let's hear.
He thinks he's shephing his own sheep. He shepherds the sheep he's supposed to
No.
on.
Close. Yeah. Gewaldig. Yeah. But it's Torah. You can't lie in Torah. Okay. So today we're having a sugya called drushes limudim. Most people love this. People that hate Agadita love these sugyas. And basically, we have different sugyas. We have the sugyas of Lumdus and Agadita, and this is a sugya of limudim, where we see the nuances in the Torah, the different words, the added words, Hekeshim, Gzeres Shavis, Kal V'chomer, Klal. The good news is that we have 37 charts today, and it's actually an easy sugya. It's easy. Just there's not a lot of gishmaka stories that happen and things like that. But it's limudim. So let's do a tiny bit of chazara here. The parak starts off talking about a person who steals. He has to pay kefil. If he steals a cow, bull, or a sheep, and he ends up shechting those 2 or one of them, or selling them, so he's chayev 4 or 5, depending on the sheep. He only has to pay 4 times the amount only. It's a pretty decent penalty. Only a sheep 4 times, and a bull 5 times. If he ends up doing that. So then the Gemara goes into the differences. The Mishnah says that's a difference between kefil and arba v'chamisha. That arba v'chamisha only exists And these two animals, and they have to have ruach Chayim, they have to be alive, obviously. Kefil, on the other hand, applies to everything in the world, almost, right? You steal any object, doesn't have to have life, it could be a computer, a bike, you have to pay double. So the Gemara goes through the pasuk. Here's the pasuk. Akol dvar pesha. It doesn't matter what you stole. Everything in the world. But then the Torah says, no. Only these four things. Al shar, al chamar, al seh, al salma. Clothing. 3 animals and clothing. And then the Torah finishes it off. Al kol aveda. So that's what we call klal. It's everything. Then it's very specific. Shar, chamar, seh, prat. And then al kol aveda. Then the pasuk Yishalem Shnayim, you pay kefil. So Yoshi did a wonderful job. Everybody understood it. There's a pickup truck. You're chayiv kefil on all these items, even a carbon. You see the guy in the strimal, even an evet, a slave all the way on the top, a chicken, everything. And then when we narrow it down to prat, we take everything out of the back of the pickup truck. It's only these 4. But then once again, we have a klal that includes everything. And we're going to limit 4 things. It doesn't include slaves, karka, kachim, shtarais, because each one has a different thing. Karka is not, it has to be movable. It has to be davar, shemetaltel, v'gufay mamay. Yeah? Like, I was thinking, I don't know if this is a nice thing. I like him, I love him a lot, but I think like Rav YY, who spoke beautifully at the Shabbaton, I think he's metaltel v'gufay mamay. You could lift him up, put him in a pickup truck, but he makes a lot of money just coming there for his own goof, just being there. People want to see him. They pay $50,000 a Shabbos just to be next to him. But it has to be a gufay mammon. The actual animal is worth something. And you can lift it. Karka you can't lift. Evet you could lift, but evet is similar to karka. The shtar is just a piece of paper. It's worthless. We said, mamish worthless, the piece of paper. You could go ahead and later and get money out of it. Worthless. Fine. But then the Gemara, we're just doing Chazar, we're going to get to Daf Samach again. Let's say, well, wait a minute. Why don't we just say that it has to be similar to an animal that has tumah? It emits tumah when it's dead. But it says salma. There's the guy, the crow, what do you call it? The crow scare over there. The scarecrow. So obviously, scarecrow, the clothing, doesn't emit tumah. So the says, well, but there's different categories. The pasuk says ashar, chamar. Those do emit tumah. So anything that's similar to ashar v'chamar, like a chicken that has life, a chicken doesn't give tumah. Birds don't give off tumah, especially tummy birds. So that's what we're holding right now. Perhaps a bird is not included in this. In this category. Here you see the bird becomes light and Shama Yisrael. So that's where we're holding. Says the Gemara, 2 lines down from Samach Gimel Amud Aleph. Imkain. If that's what you want to do, you want to get rid of birds and say that on a bird you're not chayiv kefil. You're chayiv kefil for every single object in the world besides a bird. So why are you telling me? Here, this was cool that the scarecrow came and took the fight. Here, we have 3 items here. Shar, chamar, set. Why does it have to go through all 3? Say one, and I get the idea. So obviously the others are there to teach me a bird. But the Gemara says, wait a minute, it's not that simple. Hey, nichte rachmana, which one exactly do you want to say and leave out the others? Because of rachmana shar, havamina karv l'gabi mizbeach in. So here it goes. These 2, the shar chamar, have something special about them. And if you just say shar, I would say, okay, it has to be something kosher. It doesn't include non-kosher animals. So if you steal a horse, you wouldn't be chayiv kefil. It has to be similar to a shar they can put on a mizbeach. Well, the Torah says chamar. Chamar is it's not very kosher at all. Well, chamar has something special about it. You have to, when it's a firstborn, you have to be poidet. You have to either give the sheep to the kohen, or you have to knock its head off, but it's something special. So maybe chamar is different. So I say shar, but maybe it has to be a combination of these 2 things. What if What if it's, let's say, a Chaya, a deer? Okay, so it's kosher. It's not a bechor, but it's kosher. But at the end of the day, I still don't know a bird. Because Rachmana Chamar Avamina Kosh B'Chorin, Shein Kosh B'Chor Eloi. Amri, in Kein Nichlev Rachmana Shav Chamar. So just say those two. Selamali. Oh, so what do you do with the sheep? Shmamina Lasuya Oifais. So you do this, bam. So Seh comes to teach us birds. So now we're in a position that everything in the world that you steal, even birds, even bikes, even kosher animals, not kosher animals, it should say Oif in the Torah. I get it. I hear. I hear. That's how it is. That's how the Torah is. The Torah a lot of times says things in hints. I hear you, Kasha, but it's good. By the way, Rabbi Isai, I want you to pay attention here. I finally found a person who loves drushes and limudim. Here he is. At this point of the regular share, he's gone. He loves this stuff. Dr. Factor loves limudim. Gewaldig. It's true. Here he is. He's going to be with us. So true. Veima lasuyi oifes tahir. Oh. So what, Dr. Factor, what would you put in the Torah if it was you? You write birds? Or you put a chicken, you put a parrot, what would you put in there? You have to, it's specific. Shar, chamar, what bird would you put in? Tell me. A kosher bird. A chasida, but it's non-kosher. So say, non-kosher bird, but a kosher bird, yes. That's why I have to put seh. Oh, but there's a distinction between a kosher bird and non-kosher bird, and if some people didn't know this a couple weeks ago when we learned it. A kosher bird has something very special about it. When you touch it, you don't become tamei. When you put it into your mouth, you become tamei. Not only do you become tamei, even your clothes on your back become tamei. A non-kosher bird, if you touch it, you don't become tamei, and if you put it in your mouth, you don't become tamei. So the Gemara says, well, maybe it's only coming to tell us one type of bird. Do me the set. A non-kosher bird doesn't have any tumah at all. Maybe you don't have to pay kefil if you steal a chasida, if you steal a storch, if you steal a parrot. Maybe you don't have to pay. Says the Gemara, okay. Basically what the Gemara is saying now is forget about all the pickup trucks, forget about the klal prat. We're not doing a klal prat anymore. We're doing something else. It's called a riboy. It's riboy. We're not even going to go into that. We're just going to take, instead of that whole thing, I'll call Aveda, and then it says Shar, Chamor, Seh. Forget that. We're going to one word. It says I'll call Aveda. Anything that you steal, anything, a kosher bird and a non-kosher bird, a kosher animal, non-kosher animal, a bike and a computer, you're chayiv kefil. Why? Because it says kol. So we're abandoning the whole klal prat klal thing, and we're going into a new drasha. Well, the question is going to be, Rabbi Isai, if we include everything, so then why in the world does the Torah tell us 4 examples? The answer is, because once I include everything, the examples come to teach us a miyut. Now I'm going to reduce it. I had 100%, now I'm going to reduce the 100 by 4 things. Shar, Chamar, Seh, Salm are going to teach us 4 things that are not included.
You should say kol first then.
Huh?
You should say kol first then.
Where? Here, let's look at the pasuk. It says it first. Look at the pasuk. No, it says a kol dvar pesha. A kol aved is at the end. Okay. We have kashas here on limudim. Givaldik. Says the Gemara, loy. Kol ribuyu. Great. Okay, so this Rabbi said you could just say if you just woke up now, we're starting a brand new sugya now. So, if you remember, I think everybody remembers this because this was a Givaldik Akasha. We all know what Meiser Sheni is. Meiser Sheni, and if you don't know, we'll show you because Jonathan might not know. Where is he? If he watches this. By the way, I have to say Shalom Aleichem. I see some guests. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Braha? Brooklyn, New York. My. Could you say on Brooklyn? My How do they say it in the Haim? From the Haim. From the Haim. Landsman. I don't know if you could say Landsman. First of all, not the Sephardi. Sorry, Landsman. Start talking Yiddish. Yeah. You're my Landsman. I grew up in Brooklyn. All right, so here goes. Rabbi say this is Meiser Sheni. A person has a pile of 100 fruit. He has to give the Kayin 2. He has to give the Levi 10. He's left with 89. He's left with 90 fruit. Okay, we'll round it out. 90. He takes from the 90. He has to take 10% and give himself. So it works like this. He takes it, and they turn purple. Why do they turn purple? Those 9 fruit become Kadesh, B'Kedushas Meiser Sheni. What does he do with it? He must go with it to Yerushalayim. But now it's very heavy. He doesn't want to schlep. He owns millions of fruits. This is just an example. So he takes the fruit, whatever he has, and he redeems it with cash. Here he goes, takes out of his pocket some money, and then the purple fruit, that Kedusha of purple, goes to the money. The fruit go back to being red apples. And then once he has that money, it's much lighter. Now he can carry it to Yerushalayim. In Yerushalayim, he goes and he trades for food. He can buy any food the Torah says, right? We would think. So I asked the question back in the day, can you buy with that money, could you buy herring? Nobody answered, just Judah. Okay, because Judah just started coming 2 days ago. Can you buy with that food herring and crackers?
Yes.
Wrong. So what's the answer? Could you buy? No, wrong.
Yes and no.
Oh.
Yes.
Everybody, you see, that's what happens when you don't come a couple of days. You're permitted to buy crackers, but you cannot buy fish. How do we know this? And so we learned the sugya, now it's easy. Right? The what? It says like this here. We'll do Balpeh real quickly, because it's a beautiful chart. It says in the pasuk, with that money, you can buy anything you want: wine, beer, steak, fish, everything. And then that's a klal. But look, it says b'chol. That's the point over there. We missed it. It says b'chol. We just said that the word kol is ribuya, means everything. You chayiv kefil on every single item in the world. So the word b'kol over here should also do the same exact thing. You should be chayiv, you should be able to purchase anything you want. But we don't do that. We use the word b'chol as a klal, not a riboy to say everything, but a klal, a generalization. And then it says, we limit it to 4 things, very similar to our sugya, where we limit it to shar, chamar, sen, salma. Over here, wine and beer, meat, and lamb chops. And then it says, so we have another klal. Klal upratu klal, yatadon elokena prat. So since I have something, a generalization, but it has to be similar to the 4 items that we mentioned. What's the similarity? Similarity is that there has to be like a cow and a sheep that are pre, they have a mother and a father, they grow from generation to generation. And also it's gedulei karta. They eat from the ground, they were created in the, zchusim bereshis, they were created from the ground, whereas fish were not created from the ground. Fish don't eat from the ground. So fish are excluded, herring is excluded. Also, from pre, we exclude mushrooms because they don't have a tree. You don't plant a mushroom. A tree you plant. Water, not. Salt, not. So those 3 items, not, plus fish is 4 items that we exclude from this whole thing. So let's see inside. Crackers, yes. Crackers are yuduli karka. They're grain. So crackers, yes, herring, not. It was a trick question. Says the Gemara. But, so you're telling me kol, the word kof lamed, is a ribuya, includes everything. But by meiser we see differently. The chsiv, kol, we don't use it as a ribuy, we use it rather as a klal, which is more limiting than a ribuy. Ribuy is everything, 100%, not 100%. By the way, I want to point out, we learned in the Gemara that if a person has a type of a chazer, there's a certain fish. Person has taivas and arayas. We have different heterim and everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives a taiva for, we have something to counteract that taiva. Everything. Over here, the pasuk is telling us, a lot of people have taivas for food. I have a friend who's in this room, a very good friend. I saw him with my own eyes. He opens up the refrigerator. He stares at his steak. He goes back. He comes back 5 minutes later. There's people that for 3 days before Shabbos, they're thinking about how they're gonna sous vide their meat, and they're gonna smoke it this way and that way, and they send pictures on their statuses. They live the meat. They live it. What? There's no camera on you, my friend. You can bet. There's a few people in the room. They know what I'm talking about. No, but the Torah says, listen to this. The Torah says they're good. This taiva, put it into Meiser Sheni. It's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah d'oraisa. People have the taiva, but don't do it on a Tuesday afternoon. You can do it on Tuesday afternoon if it's Meiser Sheni. And how do we do it today? We don't have Meiser Sheni. Shabbos Kodesh. You do the suvi, l'kovet Shabbos Kodesh. You put that taiva in there. I don't understand it. I come from a family, we eat bread and butter. Mamash, like that's how I grew up, and I like that stuff. Little garnish, who cares? There's people, my kids have the other genes. To make that sandwich is the whole anon. Not to eat it, it's a different gather. Okay. It's a keli van veyu. It's not the fun of a mitzvahs onto the Shabbos. And I'm not joking. I know these people well, and it is for Shabbos. And you should see the pictures that come in the groups. 5 minutes before Shabbos. The detail and and they talk about it. It's unbelievable. Then the Torah says only these 4 items. Oh, so here it is. It must be something that grows from generations, like seeds, or there's 2 cows that create another cow. Bigiduli karka comes from the ground. They eat from the ground. They were created from the ground, which comes to exclude. So if you look, pre comes to exclude 3 things: mushrooms, water, and salt. So again, I'll point it out again, because Mashiach is coming very soon. He's Mamashir. When we have Meiser Sheni money, and you're tired, you're sweating, and you come into Yerushalayim with that Meiser money, you cannot buy a bottle of water from the street vendor, because it's water. So remember that. And the mushrooms on your steak, they're not part of it. So you could buy the steak, but not the mushroom. Huh? You could buy beer, you could buy wine, all the good stuff. Not water, unfortunately. Unfortunately, well, in those days, we'll be happy with the wine. Coke! And no gefilte fish. No fish. Because it has to be geduli karka. So from geduli karka, we learned that one thing. I've called pre what? Riba means everything. And then from that point, we go backwards and we take off. Klal is not everything. It has to be similar to this thing. Similar to these 4 things. If you want more, you have to add. Ribu is already there. We're at 100%. Then we just take off. Armi b'chol klala. Chol ribu. Oh. So the Gemara says, and this answers the question. Here, we'll go back to this. You asked me a question. Kol meant everything. And here, by Meiser, b'chol doesn't mean everything. You're using it as a klal, product klal, says the Gemara. There's a big difference, don't you see? It's a different word. One has a base, one doesn't have a base. When it has a base, we use it as a klal, product klal. When it doesn't have a base, it's a ribuy. Armi b'chol klala, kol ribuyu. Some say kol klalahu. No, the word kol is actually a klal, even by us, even by kefil. It would mean a klal. Miu. By us, how come we're using it as a ribuy? Kol da'ach ribuyu comes to include everything. Wow. Michdik simi kara klal bratu klal d'chsiv. Oh, so Gemara says there's 2 psukim. Here we go. We're talking about pasuk zayin ches. Look at pasuk vav right before. There's another klal bratu klal. So we got a big problem. How do you have 2 klal pratu klaus, pasuk after pasuk? Why do you need that? Therefore, the second one, where it says the word kol in pasuk zayin ches, that's a riboy, not a klal pratu klal. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Where do you see the klal pratu klal? Because it says kit initial re'eu klal kesef kelim prat lishmor hador klal. If a person gives to his friend anything, then it says only these specific 2 things: money and kelim, which would exclude animals and and then it says lishmar, everything. So it's So it's klal prat. I'll call the var pesha nami leklal prat. Who does? So if the next pasuk I'll call the var pesha is also klal prat. So here, this is what Yoshi did, just to show real quickly. Here's the klal pratu klal. Now the Gemara is just saying, just take this one pasuk and add al shar chamar al sal salma. Why do you need another pasuk? I'll call the var pesha lamali shmamina ribuyu. So the next pasuk I'll call is a ribuyu, not a klal. Now the Gemara says very, very simple. Hashdam is called ribuyu, but once I know that call is ribuyu means 100%, so then I need to understand why I need these 4 very specific items. The answer is that each one comes to exclude one item. It doesn't include immovable objects that don't move. Karka, real estate. You could, for kefil, this is all kefil. We're going back to kefil now. So slaves, that you could move them, but they're similar to karka. You could move them, but they're worthless. So it has to be davar metal to v'gufay mammon. 2 things. Salma, what does it say clothing? Rashi says, and Mesuyim means it doesn't have a simon. Taisus asks, what connection does not having a simon have to not having to pay kefil? I don't understand, says Taisus. He has his own pshat. Akol aveda, and what are the words Akol aveda? Look at the Oh, so Rabbi said we had the sugya. We could do a little chazara. I will expand on it. If a person steals something and we catch him, he has to pay double. Does the ganav have to swear? No, there's no swearing. We catch him red-handed, he pays kefil. Now, a person who's a shomer chinam, he watches something for his friend, and he gets a big taiva to steal it. He knows that if he claims that it was stolen, he's potter. He has to swear that it was stolen, but he's potter. He gets to keep it. So he has a tremendous cheshik to eat lamb chops. He sees a nice juicy looking sheep. So he tells the owner, the sheep you gave me to watch was stolen. So it becomes his. Then he goes ahead and he shechts it. The halacha is that if he doesn't shecht it, he has to pay 2 times the sheep. Why? Because he said it was stolen, just saying it was stolen. What's the other thing he could say? He claim it was lost. If he claims that it was lost and we find out he's a liar and he stole it, he doesn't pay 2 times. He only pays once. Why? Because if a person, only Ganav pays twice. So you have to be Tayin Tainas Ganav. You have to claim that it was stolen. And when you claim it was stolen, we find out you're a liar, you the Shomer Chinam. So don't get confused. There's a Ganav who steals, he has to pay twice. There's a guy that's not a Ganav. He's just a nice guy, we thought he's a nice guy, he's going to watch your item. And then he claims that it was stolen, and we find out he's a liar, he has to pay twice. He never stole. He never went into somebody's property and took the item. It was actually given to him. But he claims that it was stolen. Just claiming that it was stolen, you're going to pay double. And if we find out, Rabbi Dambi, if we find out that he actually shechted it, he doesn't claim it. He shechted it, he's going to pay 4 times the amount now. Because he shechted it, it's tvicha.
Maybe lost is also a taina.
It is a taina, but you don't pay. So now the Gemara says like this. Listen to this. So what do I do with the words al kol aveda? There's a 3rd case we didn't even discuss. This is a brand new one. A guy walks down the street and he finds a sheep. So he has a chiv d'oraisa to take it home and take care of it. And then the guy comes knocking on his door, like Yoshi's daughter drew, and we just made a little better. He says, hey, Shemati matzata taparashli. I heard you found my cow. Somebody told me. He says, no. It was stolen. Yes, I found it, but somebody came into my backyard and stole it. And then, kapara lecha, gevaldik. Even Nachman is laughing. Even though you said, hey, the thorn, that's how chashiv the joke was. So, Lord is the master. So, and then of course, the cow, the sheep is peeking out from behind the door. So we know he's a liar. So he's going to have to pay kefil in this situation. Now, if he knocked it out and then shechted it and made steaks out of it, he's going to have to pay 4 times. In this case, how much? 5 times, because it's a cow. He has to pay double. Okay, next. Tanan awesome. So now we're just going to go into everything that we just said, pasha the stuff. Tanan awesome. What does it mean, pikadon? Pikadon means we're talking to a shomer chinam. I told you to watch my sheep and you said, okay, where is it? Where's my deposit? Not a deposit, not you owe me money and I have a deposit. We're talking about a shomer chinam here. Amar le'avad. He said it was lost. So he says, Mashbiachani, we're just going through the cases, easy stuff. So he says, oh yeah, it was lost? Mashbiachani, you have to swear. So you see from here, you have to swear. Okay, no problem. I agree, I swear. Oh, then he gets caught. They didn't testify that he ate it. So pay attention to this word. It's a very important word, says Taisus. Sha'achalai, which means it's gone, it's consumed, it's out of this world. There's nothing left from it. Mishalem Zakeren, big chiddush. He does not have to pay kefil. He doesn't pay kefil even when it was completely consumed, says Taisus. Why? Why? Because over here he said avad. You only pay kefil when you claim it was stolen. He didn't say it was stolen, he claims it was lost. Let me ask you a question. Didn't he go to yeshiva? Didn't he learn Daf Yomi? And he knows. There's a difference. If he claims it was stolen and they catch him, he's going to have to pay twice. 2 times. If he claims that it was lost and they catch him, he only has to pay once. So why would a person say it was stolen when he could say it was lost? Anybody have a good answer? It's a very simple answer. What?
He'd be over on lying.
Lie. He's over and lying both ways. He lied both. But it wasn't lost or stolen. He's lying either way. Huh? He's potter on both of them, on Gneva and Aveda. So I'm asking, why does he lie and say that it was stolen? And if they catch him, he's going to be in big trouble, have to pay double. Oh, similar to what you're saying, because it's much more believable to say that it was stolen. He doesn't look like a fool. I tried to take care of it. There was a guy who walked in the middle of the night and he came into my house and took it. Lost, he looks like a fool. What do you mean lost? It was in your backyard, yes. So what happened? I don't know. It got lost. So for him, he looks better when he says it's stolen. I'm just explaining, I think. There is no sponsor for the turning dove, I don't think, anymore. Jonathan is... Huh? Oh, you're right. We just turned this out. If you're spacing out and you don't know that we turned the page, get out of the shir. But if you still want to stick around, we're still on Amud Beis. Okay. Listen to this. If a person admits fault, he pays. So look, it says in the pasuk like this. He says he claims it was stolen. It wasn't stolen. It's in his house. So what do you do? It says in the pasuk of Beis. He lies. He lied and he swore falsely. What do you do? Because he swore false, v'heshiv. First of all, you have to give back the principal. V'chamishisav Yosef alav. He has to pay another fifth. How much is a fifth in English, in American language? 25%. You're right. If you translate, you are right. You're right. You're right. If you translate word for word, but in the way, in our vernacular, 20%, a fifth means 25%. I'm just explaining. What you think is not what you think. Milagav. Not milibar. Not our sugi today. Vesashamai. In addition to the 25% and the principal you have to pay, bring a carbon. You lied. You swore falsely. So says the Gemara. New case. Okay, so we know if a guy lies and he says it was lost. But what if the same guy, the Shoyer Mechinim says, they come to him, hey, where's my thing? Omar Loi Nignav, and he claims it's stolen. This is stuff we did Balpeh before. Mashbiachani, you liar, I don't believe you, swear. Yeah, sure, I'll swear. So he swears falsely. And we have a right, we have 2 witnesses that say he's a liar. Mishal Tishlu has to pay double. Now he has to pay double. Why? Because he said it was stolen. When he says it was lost, he doesn't pay double. So Taisa points out, over here it says Gnavai, it was stolen. It doesn't say it was eaten. Why? Because we're going to the extremes. When it was completely eaten, in the case that he says it was lost, he doesn't pay anything, or he doesn't pay double. Over here, where he claims it was stolen and it wasn't stolen, still in his house, it wasn't consumed, he has to pay double. If a person admits to the fault, he pays the Karen, the principal, 25% in Asham. What about Kefil? Rabbi Isai? So that we have the famous concept, since it comes from himself, he admitted to guilt that he lied and that he swore falsely. We don't make him pay kefil, because when you admit to a knas, kefil is a knas, the chaimish is not a knas, okay? The 25% that you pay is not a knas. Kefil, double is. Says Gemara, let's just do, there's a lot of extra word, not extra, there's a lot of arichos over here. Ktani Mia, it says, when you claim that you're that it was stolen, then you do have to pay twice. When you claim that it was lost, you don't pay kefil. And another thing, remember, he swore. You only pay kefil when you swear. If you don't make a shvur, you don't have to pay kefil. How do you know they have to swear? Oh, so very important. We have two psukim here. Just pay attention to these two psukim. They're very important. Pasuk Vav and Pasuk Zayin. In Pasuk Vav it says, Im Yimotzi Aganav. Anybody reading this pasuk would think, like I think, Im Yimotzi Aganav. We're talking to Shomer Chinam. Where is it? The stone. Im Yimotzi Aganav, if we find the thief, a real thief or a fake thief? If we find that the Shomer Chinam is the thief, or Im Yimotzi Aganav means we find the real thief. L'chayra, we find the real thief, right? Some say not like that. Some say the pshat in the pasuk is we find that you're the thief. Okay, it's not the pashas of the pasuk. The next pasuk says, Im lo yimatze aganav. If we don't find the thief, that Rabbi Yisai, everybody agrees, is talking about the shomer chinam. We find out that he's a liar. We never found the thief. What we found out is that you're a liar. You said it was stolen, and you're a liar. So we have an nafkamin in the brises, two brises. One say the pasuk, the first pasuk is still talking like this. The first and the second pasuk are talking about the same exact case, that the shomer chinam lied and he said it was stolen, but it wasn't. And another brise says no, we have to make a difference between pasuk vav and zayin. It doesn't make sense that they'll be talking about the same thing. So let's say the first pasuk is talking about a real thief, the second pasuk is talking about a fake thief. Okay, that's the whole thing over here. First of all, Yoshi redid this a little bit. Shows what shomer chinam and Chaya b'gneva aveda on the left top, right, left corner. Shoyel meismachas v'lachas Chaya. Great. Look at this, beautiful. What he did here. We have pasuk vav and pasuk zayin. Pasuk vav says im yimotze aganav. Pasuk zayin says im lo yimotze. We don't find the ganav. Both of them are, according to this brisa, tain is ganav. You see that little box? We're talking about a guy that claims that it was stolen. It really wasn't stolen. Who told you? Maybe talking about the thief himself. He says the exact opposite of what our svara would be. He says pasuk vav and pasuk zayin have to match up. They're talking about the same thing. So if pasuk zayin is talking about a fake thief, a guy that's pretending that it was stolen, so pasuk vav is also talking about that. And how do I know that pasuk zayin is talking about a fake thief? We'll see in a second. Tan yidach, and check out. Just look at this chart for a second. We'll know what the other bryce is. No, pasuk vav is talking about a real thief, and pasuk zayin is talking about a fake thief, a guy that said that it was stolen. Which makes more sense to us because now the two psukim are talking about different things, and that's why there's two psukim. Tanya Yidach.
It says Hagar, so it wouldn't make sense if it was himself. It was the shomer.
Oh, so very good. The Bar Mitzvah boy is asking a very good kasha. We're going to get to that soon. Hagana, we're going to learn something else from it soon. Tanya Yidach. Im yimotze Hagana b'ganav atzmo goes medaber. Atoimer b'ganav atzmo ye'inel b'toyin tainus ganav. How do you know that we're talking about the pasuk vav that we're talking about the ganav himself? It can't be because pasuk zayin is talking about a tainas ganav. So what's about pasuk vav, the first one? The ganav atzmo goes medaber. It makes more sense to say that we're talking about two different cases. Pasuk zayin, according to everybody, is talking about toyin tainas ganav. The kula amiyas lo yimotza ganav toyin tainas ganav. My mashma, how do I know? Omar Rava. If we found that it's not like you said, what is im lo yimotze aganav? If it's not found to be like you're claiming that there was a real gneva, just what? You yourself are the ganav. In that case, he pays kefil. How do you know? Who said? We assume that the Gemara says it was talking about the guy said shvua, and he says amen. How do you know? Sorry, the Sanya v'nikra balabais Elohim. Elohim means to the court, to dayanim. L'shvua. So why are you going to court? To swear. Maybe this is interesting. I'll think that it means you should go to Bezdin so that you should pay. You're a shomer chinam, you hear? Shomer chinam that claims that it was stolen, you should go to court and pay. So Gemara says, here, look at this, beautiful. We have a Gzer Shava. There's a case of Shomer Chinam on top. There's a case of Shomer Socher on the bottom. The Gemara calls Lamala and Lamata. It says by Shomer Chinam, it says the words in Lo Shalach Yadav. It also says the same exact words by Shomer Socher. We compare one to the other. So just by Shomer Socher, he has to swear. Rabbi, I think for a second, when does Shomer Socher have to swear? If he claims that it was stolen and lost, he has to pay. Does he swear? No. So when does the Shomer Socher swear? When he claims Oinus. So too, by Shomer Chinam, he has to swear. Says the Gemara, let's look at the chart again. Beautiful. According to the Madam, it says the pasuk Vav is talking about a guy that stole. He has to pay kefil. Yishalem Shnaim says that in the pasuk. The second pasuk is talking about a Shomer Chinam who claims that it was stolen. He has to pay kefil. So we're talking about two different things. Now I understand why this pasuk Vav and pasuk Zayin. If they're talking about the same exact thing, what I need two psukim, Amri. Here we go, Rabbi Isai. Pasuk Zayin is talking about the third case. When he claims that it was lost, in that case, you don't pay kefil. Now the Gemara does a classic. Here, beautiful what Yoshi did. According to the first brisa, what do I do with the pasuk Meloyim Matzi Aganav? Teaches us that if I claim that it was lost, you don't have to pay. No, so what does the second brisa do? The second brisa uses it up already. And that's what the Bar Mitzvah Bacher was saying from the letter, hey, Haganov, he learns that if he claims that it was lost, he doesn't have to pay kefil. The Mutah Tanya Sava Minale, Meganov, Haganov from the extra hey. Oh, so what's the obvious question going to be? What does brisa number 1 do with the hey? They learn something else from it. That if you claim that it was stolen, and then we find out that you shechted it, you have to pay 4 times. How do I know that? From the hay. And then the Gemara is going to ask, so how does brisa number 2 know that halacha? And the answer is going to be from a hekesh, and that's the end of today's sugya. Ganov, Haganov, my darshan. What does he do with extra hay? A lot of words. Amalach. Look to Reb Chaya, Barabam, Reb Yochanan. Don't Reb Chaya, Barabam, Reb Yochanan. Hatoyin tan is Ganov b'pikodim. A guy, a shomer chinam, he's watching your chayfetz, your sheep. You come to get it back, you say, sorry, it was stolen. Not only was it not stolen, but you took it, you shechted it, you ate the lamb chops. What's the halacha? Mishan tashlumi kefil if it was just stolen. Tavachu mochar if you shechted it or sold it. Mishan tashlumi arba v'chamisho. How do I know that? From the hay. Well, the man Omar chad b'ganav chad b'toyin ganav dai ganav aganav avke limud tayin sovad. He already uses the hay. The Rebbe Chaya Barabba Manole. How did they know that it's halacha? They have to pay 4 times if he shechted it. Amalacha keisho. Check this out, Rabbi Isai. Pasuk Vav and Pasuk Zayin are right there next to each other. So whatever halachas I have in one, I have in the other. Pasuk Vav is talking about a ganav. Pasuk Zayin is talking about a tayin tainas ganav. So you learn one from the other. Just like tayin tainas ganav. Just like a ganav himself has to pay dalad v'chamesh. You pay 4 times if you shecht it or sell it. So too, a guy that claims that he had to steal it, that was stolen, he pays 4 or 5 times. The problem is they're very different. One, you have to make a shvuah, and one, you don't make a shvuah. Tainas tana ganav has to swear. A ganav himself, we said, everybody agreed in the room, you don't swear. Isn't that a great pircha to the hekesh? Yes, but guess what? A hekesh is so strong, you never answer on a hekesh. A meshivim ala hekesh. There's no answers to hekesh. They're right next to each other, boom. We learned that limud, Rabbi Isai. Have a wonderful day. Shira malois mimamakim grosicho adinoi adinoi shemo bikoili tienos dachak kashuvois lekoi dachanunoi ima benois tishmorio adinoi miyamoid kibcha sicho leman tivorei kibisi adinoi kibsa nafshi lo yechalti nafshi adinoi mishomrim laboiker shomrim laboiker Yachai Yisrael Adinoi Kim Adinoi Achesed V'Arbei Moifetus V'Hu Yivdes Yisrael Mikol Aboni Sov Achen Koveis Yisrael Anasunu Mitzorah V'Shivyo Hoim Dem Ben Bayom U'Ben Bayabosh Mokim Racham Aleim Yitzim Yisrael V'Vocha U'Me'afel L'Oyer V'Shivyo L'Gula Ashto Bagal Oz Ma'akoriv V'Nimar Omein